So my name is Gaza Dugar and I am a communication designer and we all from Jaipur.
For this? Kya wow.
How would you pitch yourself then when you do not have a portfolio?
Yeah. See, back then when you didn't have a portfolio, even at the beginning of the presentation, I started with saying, when I didn't have work, I started making work so that brands could sort of probably notice. The jacket thing, for example. I didn't know that it's going to land me up doing Ranveer Singh or Rohit Sharma or Indian cricket team jerseys with Adidas itself, right? The point was I was doing things that I wanted to do, and then it was only a matter of time that the world would probably take notice of what you're doing. The one thing that I was sure of was to put my work out there. Sure, I still don't have a website. I've struggled with making a website, and I'm sure everyone struggles with keeping up a portfolio. But thankfully, to platforms like Facebook and social media, your Instagram, it was very easy to just keep putting work constantly out there and just let people know what you do. Lockdown is when I actually ended up building a LinkedIn profile. I didn't have one because I was like, nahi chahiye bhai. But jab lockdown aaya and one had to pay bills, and that's when I was literally like, ass is on fire now, I actually have to do something and get in touch with these. Started up adding all these professionals who have interacted in the past and could be possible future clients. So I started up obviously reaching out to directors, managers. Doesn't matter if they're going to be leaving me on scene. Nahi farak padta, kya farak padta hai. But once you have a portfolio, you keep uploading things, you keep talking to people. You may feel that, okay, am I being too pushy? Am I really, what's that word to use in Hindi? क्या मैं चेप हो रहा हूँ क्या ज़्यादा? नहीं यार, नहीं फर्क पड़ता. People don't think about these things as much as we think. We make it way too bigger in our heads than it actually is, and it's best that you actually give it a shot. What will happen at the worst? You won't get a response. Out of 10, one will eventually. So keep at it is all I keep telling everyone. Keep doing things is what I keep telling everyone. Keep making things, keep putting out things, keep doing fake projects. And when I say fake projects, like that jacket was a fake project for me to do. Maybe I wanted to work with Nike at some point. What if I designed something for Nike and just put up something on LinkedIn for Nike and tag their people? I don't know. They may like it. They may reach out to me. There is always a possibility of that. So there are hundreds of ways to really score clients, get new work. But it's not just going to happen by you wondering. It's going to happen by you putting work into it. That's all.
Now that you've gone from an independent person to running a team, how do you ensure that are you looking at everything your team designs? Do you want to avoid that? How do you avoid that? How do you scale?
To me, I would be someone who would literally be looking into everyone's computer to say that what's happening, what's next. But I feel like micromanaging really doesn't take you anywhere. And you would rather let your team do what they have to, and then you do your own thing, which is actually being in touch with your clients, giving them all the presentations, pitch to them, and do everything that you have to, and give your team a brief that you want from them. And for you to say that, eventually you let them be. But at the beginning, I was really up there as to say that, boss, we have to do it this way, we have to do it this way. Now it's come to a point when I'm actually letting them be. Now I'm actually having them to email directly to clients so that I don't have to do that, because that also takes a big leap of faith, obviously, because I have spent considerable amount of time to be where I'm at. I wouldn't want anyone to say that someone's written a poorly written email and that's really pissed off the client. I mean, there are so many things that are that go behind the scenes while running a studio, and designing to me is probably the easiest of them all. It's running a studio, running a team, ensuring your team's motivated throughout, ensuring no one's really stressing about so much work or stressing about having to come on Saturdays. How do I ensure there are Saturdays that they also get to take work off, or times when we are even working on a Sunday? How do I give them a comp off to say that, okay, you've come on a Sunday, but you can take the next Saturday or a Friday or whichever day you want to take. There are these things essentially for me to say that really are challenging, and are things like GST, to be learning about these things. Just school mein kabhi nahi padhai gayi, right? And taxes, for example, or how do we actually interact with the real world or the clients? I wish there was actually a curriculum or a subject in design schools nowadays, which is what I keep telling people now that we're here. Put in I know I'm moving away from the topic, but I feel like this as a topic should be there, you know. Learning to make invoices, learning to write emails, learning to do basic things. I feel like colleges are teaching, you know, the subjects very well, but then how to really go out in the real world, that no one's really teaching. So that's, yeah, I mean, yeah. Thank you, Rupin.
Just to plug in, like we have a session on like finances for freelancers. If you folks just Google it, I think you should find it. It'll tell you about TDS and GST and how to do all these things. Just to add in on the pricing bit, you know, since I'd love to know if you agree. So we also do a lot of like proposal shares, etc.
Yeah.
What works very well is remember that pricing is always a spectrum. You should let the client know that. And even if you're the only person in your house with a laptop, you can pitch yourself as a studio. And you can always try and tell them that I have junior people, I have senior people, and I use various kinds of tools and techniques. So this could cost you 1 lakh to 6 lakhs, for example. And that generally will help you understand what's their appetite and how much you want to focus at the start. I think a lot about being successful as a studio owner is to know which clients not to work with. Because as you become popular, more and more people will want to come and knock at your door.
So, 100 things to share on that.
Sure. I like your question, you know, so you mentioned experiential design, you know. Vision Pro came out a couple of months before that. I mean, not months, years since years, like Zuck's been really wanting us to, you know, get into like this Ready Player One kind of a environment. What's your take there as a person who's building experiences? Is that something one should look out for? How to upskill? How to be curious about that?
You know, during the lockdown, everyone's trying to do things because khali baithe hain, kuch na kuch to karna hai. And when these virtual concerts started to come into picture, and we were like, you know what, we started pitching to our regular clients to say that, listen, we can create experiences out of homes as well, right? And this is back in 2020 when we were trying to say that first year of lockdown, kya kare, kab tak chalega, no one has any idea. And this is where I was like, you know what, let's create concepts. Doesn't matter, client ko chahiye nahi chahiye, main bhejunga fir bhi. And what was the concept really? We're like, you know, enjoy concerts while you're sitting at home, but you don't want to be seeing a concert while you're on your laptop. पीछे से गैस की सीटी बज रही है, यहाँ से कोई घर पे कोई काम कर रहा है, and you're not really enjoying the experience of a festival. Then that's where I was like, maybe I really want to shut the world and to be able to see it. Is where we said, let's give out those Google Cardboard boxes where you can put in your phone and actually see that for, let's say, about 5-10 minutes. So you just get an idea of a different experience, because during lockdown you were just looking forward to doing different things apart from just cooking and cleaning. And that's where I was like, you know what, that's what one thing that we ended up giving. We ended up doing costing around that, even though no one asked us. And that was something that they really liked. And for Weekender, in 2021 is when they were doing that. 2020 is when they were doing that. We actually ended up giving out few of these cardboard box glasses, the VR headsets, where you just had to put in phones. And that was very cheap. And at the same time, that would give you an experience. Now, that was a poor man's Vision Pro, because Vision Pro is what, $3,500. I mean, it's going to take quite a few years for, you know, everyone to be able to get that. But the Amir Lok, for example, will have access to that. And I feel like, yes, they will have the experience to it. And it's going to take time for the masses to actually be able to experience all that, right? Which really cuts down it to a very small, minute little percentage for people to be able to experience that. So the question again comes to, how many people am I really going to cater to? Are brands going to invest themselves into putting content onto those things, whereas the devices out there aren't as many, the reach isn't as much. So I feel like it's going to take a couple of years till it actually becomes a thing and then actually has enough for everyone to sit at home to be able to enjoy.
Ishika, you know, mentioned that there's a lot of stuff happening around minimalism. Everything is becoming minimal, while she's somebody who loves color and illustrations. So how do you try and maintain a style when the client's really wanting to, you know, place their own minimal guidelines on top of all of that?
See, when it's about me, I throw in everything possible. As you can see, I'm looking like a clown. I always look like a Daisy truck. But when it comes to a client, give the client what the client needs. Right? As a designer, you need to be aware of the fact you are there to solve their problem, not to put your ideas there to say that oh, I am a maximalist designer, I like maximalism and I should be putting that. No, they're paying you to do their job. So you need to really listen to them, give them what they need. And it's as simple as that, right? Be a designer, not an artist. Always a difference between the two. You can be your own artist to make your own artworks. But when a client reaches out to you, it doesn't reach out to you for your artist. It reaches out to you so that you can solve a problem. A designer's role eventually is to be a problem solver, right? And that's all.
How do you keep motivated to just get done, like get through the project while still getting to enjoy what you're doing?
Very important question, guys. क्योंकि कभी-कभी क्या होता है? You start with a project, you start explaining your mood boards, client says okay. You start sketching, client says okay. When you start presenting designs, client's like ये actually here I have one image from Pinterest. आप ये कर सकते हो क्या? That's when you see okay, this is a red flag. And luckily I am at a point where I can say that, you know what, I don't want to work with these guys. So what do? We fire a client, right? Roles can be reversed too. Why can't you fire a client? You can always fire a client. For what? For these reasons only. Why? Because you've done a process of design, you've gone through the whole brand.
Is freelancing the right approach? Because you have to put stuff online, you have to do things like that. What's your take on that? If you're somebody who's awkward, who doesn't want to put on social, what to do?
I really feel like this is something even I struggle with, and you know, it's my team who keeps pushing me to put work out there. I'm usually putting memes, right? And we have to constantly put our work out there to get more work. Now, sadly, this is how it works. And if you're not in it, then you know for a fact that it's only going to be a word of mouth that मेरे चाचा के अंकल को पता है मैं डिज़ाइनर हूँ, तो he'll probably get me some project because I need work and I'm asking my uncle and aunties now because I am not putting my work out there. Everyone's now on social media, everyone's on LinkedIn, everyone's on Instagram. I've really used all of this to get to where I'm at, to be honest. Nothing else, you know, and that's pretty much it. I don't do sponsored posts of things. I'm just putting out work. People are seeing, people are uploading it, sharing it, and that's really getting me more things. So to your friend Ayush, I really suggest him to break that and do it. You know, put a blinder on, just like start putting it. Because the more you put, the more people see your work, and the more people see your work, the more work you will end up getting, rather than getting work from your relatives, which is not going to be fun. वो होगा किसी की रेस्टोरेंट का किसी का एक मेन्यू बनाना पड़ेगा कभी randomly. So you know, you don't want to be doing random one-off things rather than take on full-blown branding projects. So that also comes in when you're putting yourself like that, when you're portraying yourself as a designer is when it's going to happen. If you're shy, I mean, I also like to believe I am. I mean, I can obviously now talk and do all of this because I've been doing this for a while now, right? But otherwise, in a room full of people, I'm going to be standing in one corner and not talking. I'm still that person. But I really feel like being shy is not really going to be the answer. You really have to put yourself out there to be able to get more work. It's as simple as that. खाना मुंह में नहीं आता जब तक उठा के मुंह में नहीं डालेंगे. So it's the same ideology.
Yeah, I think the biggest learning here is that you can teach yourself. It's a trainable thing.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are born with it, I don't deny it, but it's something which is trainable. And I mean, I don't know, I think whoever is in the UXY community may know this. There was a huge controversy last year where people are like, portfolio kyun chahiye? You know, a lot of senior leadership people were saying, yeah, I'm managing 10 people, I'm getting 80 lakh rupee package, what do you want me to my portfolio for? And the whole conclusion of that entire debate was that, cool, maybe you don't need one if you reach that level. But if you are somebody making 80 lakh rupees with 12 years of experience, and there is another person who's also making 80 lakh rupees with 12 years of experience who has a portfolio, you'll have 12 more job offers compared to you. Because you are restricting yourself. So, you know, the more you show, the more your portfolio and your Instagram works for you when you sleep. It's not, dependent on you. So that's very, very important.
I'm Mehul.
Mehul.
Yes.
Hi.
Yes, I'm an interaction designer, creative developer. So my question was, you work with installations, you work with music festivals, and you basically do everything. So my question basically was, when you collaborate with like technicians or craftspeople or for the things that you don't have the technical knowledge about, but you have to collaborate with them. So how do you make sure that you get your ideas exactly like executed as you initially thought?
So I'll talk about the Adidas project that we did, right? We had to build that dome. So obviously I was like, how do I get that dome? I found out, I asked around, is there a dome available on rent? पैसे बच जाएंगे क्यों? क्योंकि नया बनाएंगे तो बजट खत्म. दूसरा था, now full tech heavy event, projection है. How do I find a projection mapping guy who knows how to project on a dome? You know, because it's an inward curved surface, and sure, we've always seen people projecting on monuments and things. And here is where we actually end up finding out people who know their things, because we really need to be sure of the fact that whoever we are working with knows what they're doing. Otherwise, मजाक मेरा उड़ेगा भाई, मेरा ही नाम खराब होगा और मेरी ही खिल्ली उड़ेगी, मेरी नाक कटेगी. So I have to be really sure of the fact who I'm working with, and it's just a matter of me asking people for their portfolio. आ गया ना portfolio काम. So just that. So it's for me to be able to understand, put a word out there. Now I don't know who does. Now I also wanted to have a touch screen right at the entry of that whole sci-fi tunnel, so people would come and experience what's happening inside, outside as well. Now I didn't know who does programming on a touchscreen computer, on a touchscreen TV screen, and how I could put my visual graphics onto it so people can actually do all of that. Obviously I put out an Instagram post, boss, I'm looking for someone who can do this. Got some people and found out they do things, and I was like, how do you do this? Asked the questions around, just so that I could get some more confidence in them. Is when I was like, you know what, let's do it. And that's how I actually end up finding people. It's just, you find people to do everything. So it's just a matter of you actually going and looking and building that trust with them.
I am Rohan.
Hi Rohan.
I'm also a graphic designer.
Hello graphic designer.
So I just wanted to ask you, like, let's say if you had to restart your career as a designer only, so would you prefer going to learning at a design school or learning at a job?
I mean, how I started, to be honest, you know, मैंने 11th में सबसे बड़ी गलती करी थी कॉमर्स विद मैथ्स लेके, where जो औकात था वो आर्ट्स का था, ठीक है. And to me I was always like, यार I'm not gonna take arts, it's, you know, society is gonna look down upon me. So, you know, back in school ऐसे immature thoughts तो थे, but how life really turned out was that, you know, I keep thinking, what if I was in an art school, what if I actually had a design degree? Then I would not been this really, to be honest, because I come from a completely different school of thought, to say that there are no boundaries to me, there are no rules to what I do. And when we also have, you know, in my team, when I also have people coming in from colleges, from NIDs who have learned design, they come with a set knowledge about design, which is great because it's important anyway. But at the same time, how I function is that I end up thinking of things that, you know, that really works in my advantage, that you could do it this way, really. And then that really puts a different idea onto the table to say, oh, actually, yeah, how did you think of it? I was like, I don't know, man. I never went to school. I'm just thinking, what if? And that really works in my advantage that way. So I would rather be the way it is meanwhile.
I'd like to add to that. So I have also not finished I've not done any degree, etc. I started IndieFolio in my 12th grade. So
Wow.
I must tell you something, as somebody who's seen so much recruitment happening, right? Personally, I think I have seen NIDs getting rejected by self-taught designers. You've got examples like Aaquib, who don't have any, you know, he's beating a lot of other studios who's probably their teachers are teaching and, you know, have great experience from top colleges. When you are self-taught, I can definitely tell you things are tougher, because all people need to do, especially when you're young, is they cut risk, right? If I'm going to hire you, you never worked in a company, all this time you've gotten good grades for yourself, now you have to design for my company, my customer, risk is always involved. Ki yaar tum kar paoge ki nahi. So if you're coming from a 4-year, 5-year degree college, that reduces the risk a little bit. And that's why what I have seen is you do get advantages and perks in terms of attention, where you look like stronger in your portfolio when you put that design college course there. But does it mean you'll definitely succeed? No. You know, so I just thought I'll put it out there. And if you want to start your studio, if you want to start a company, nobody cares. Your degrees don't matter. But if you want to be a chief design officer at Tata Motors, they'll definitely probably want that MDes out there, because it's just the way a lot of companies work. So which game you want to play is also an important decision you make earlier on. So I just thought I'll add that.
That's very insightful.
Hi, Aaquib, my name is Chirag.
Hi,
I'm a
Chirag.
freelance brand designer. Aaquib, my question is like, how, as when you were starting in the initial days, how did you differentiate yourself as a designer? Like, for example, when a client comes to me, he has the option of choosing multiple designers and me as well. So why would he choose me and taking my services? How do I differentiate as a designer, considering the fact that there are bunch of people who are probably, I do not consider price as a factor, because I am to that stage where I am confident with my prices. But sometimes it happens, I have better designers than you, and that's a reality. That happens with all of us. How do I differentiate, or how do a young designer can differentiate with his services?
See, I feel like there is always going to be someone who's better than you. That should never be a deciding factor for you or for the client also. You, in your own world, you should be the Shah Rukh Khan of design, right? Keep it as simple as that. Know your thing, know that what you are doing, no one's good at this. And that really comes in when you're conversing with the client, when you're presenting your designs. So it really comes in from that, right? I feel like it's something that I've learned very late in my life. I wish there was someone to tell me. When you're presenting, how you're putting out your words, how you're explaining design really matters. Even it matters more than what you're designing, to be honest, because how you're projecting your work really will take away everyone else's things than anyone else will. Because I feel like at the end of the day, I really also need to be a salesperson to be able to sell my work, right? And that's where my designing skills don't come into handy. My design could be better than 10 other designers, but someone of those who could talk well got the project. Why? Because उसने फंसा लिया बातों में उसको भाई, उसको आ गया समझ कि if I talk nicely and have certain things that I know will impress the other person, will eventually taking up the project. So it's something that I learned over the years that it's not just design, it's not just because design में आपको 10,000 लोग मिल जाएंगे जो हमसे बेहतर हैं, but eventually how you're putting yourself out there, how you're talking and how you're projecting your everything, really that also complements with what you're doing. And then design is really just a thing that you're delivering over and above, to be honest. So really it's just how you're presenting everything.
At IndieFolio, we always share 3 options whenever a brand comes up with a brief. And I've been part of some key projects, and the best folks who win the pitches are the ones who say, I know you're looking at other people, but I'm going to work the hardest, or I'm going to work in a very creative manner on your project, and that's why you should pick me. They're extremely bold when they pitch, and that's what clients remember. They don't remember. So the pitch is extremely important. A tactical thing which works is domain or segment match. So if I'm looking for brand designers for my SaaS company, if I have other people who've done branding for SaaS, I'll probably feel safer with them.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Ashay.
Hi, Ashay.
Footwear designer.
Okay.
And so you're not just a solo designer anymore, you have a whole business. So how do you juggle the business part of things? Because sometimes that just takes up most of your time. And you ever feel like you're doing more business work and less creative stuff, and you feel like you're selling out?
Yeah, I mean that always comes in that ये क्या हो रहा है, मतलब I didn't start out to do this, but then again when you are working with bigger clients, essentially that's what's going to happen, where you have to cater to your client and someone else is also doing the work to you, right? What happens when we're working? When we get a brief, everyone gets the brief in the team, everyone gets to work on it, right? Including me, so that everyone's in it. When we're designing, when we're coming up with concepts, everyone comes up with two concepts. When we sit, when we're brainstorming, obviously there is like a discussion on the table to say that this is what we want to do. When that happens, I also sort of go back, I'll also think about what we've discussed, then I'll probably narrow down certain things, add a bit of things to it to say that this could work like this could. So once I'm done doing that is when I put those directions to the team to say that this is what we are going to be doing, this is what I want each person to be doing, and how everyone essentially is going to club all of that together. We start building a presentation to say that this is what's going to be presented to the client. There's got to be a flow into this whole presentation. So when we are designing this, a person would look into the first 10 pages, second would look into the other set of pages. So for me, that's where, you know, the part of me putting all of that together comes into the picture. Now, once that happens is when I have to actually go ahead and present that to the client, right? So it's not me to say that I'm only going to be chilling with the client and making jokes and enjoying coffee with the client. No, I have to literally be in it to be able to know what I'm talking about, because otherwise it's just going to be a bunch of other designers working on things that I'm getting as projects, right? Because then I feel like this is not what I set out to do, right? I am doing things because I enjoy doing it at the end of the day. There are days where I'll be getting stuck, but someone from the team will probably come up with a really cool idea and I'll be like, you know what? Let's go ahead with that. It's not always me saying, oh, this is my studio. I want to be doing things my way, even if my idea is shitty. No, I don't do that. I mean, it's only fair for us to say that best ideas should really be going out there, because us as designers, my mentorship into the team is really something that I keep doing at the same time while we are designing, to say that how do we sort of come up with cooler ideas? That's also my thing to do every day. You know, to motivate a team every day, that's what one has to keep doing. And not just be like, okay, what's the next project one has to do? I mean, where we are, luckily we could be busy with so many projects. I could literally have a team of 100 right now, but I choose not to. Because I don't want to turn this into a factory where we're churning designs by the hour, where I can probably keep doing random design projects and I'm just bothered about the money. I feel like that's where I would really want to put my foot down to say that we are a boutique design studio where we will keep our team to only, let's say, about 12 people, 15 max in the coming years, but stick to a limited number of people, because I feel like that does not dilute everything that we have. Otherwise, we end up becoming anyone else also, which is essentially every design studio out there which has 30, 50 people in there. Everyone's just doing collaterals, everyone's doing social media posts. I don't want to do that. These are things that don't require brains. They're just like, you know, DTP operator work is what they call them, and then that's not what I want to do, you know, as a designer or as someone who runs a design studio. We would rather build a community of designers in our team to say that, you know, it should be dealt in a way that everyone comes up with an idea to say that they've learned enough, they can do this on their own. Projects are delivered to them to say that you can handle it yourself with the client. So it's not just me who's interacting with the client, it's also the team who's interacting. So everyone gets a shot at next things, and they're not just stuck to doing presentations, they're not stuck to just making illustrations or, you know, stuck to their softwares. My idea is हम तो आगे बढ़ ही रहे हैं, साथ में इनको भी लेके चलो. Thank you very much, friend.
Awesome, friend. That's a wrap. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Aaquib.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.